These are a few of the thoughts that go through my head. I'm old. I'm not as smart. What if the finances don't come? What if one of my kids get hurt? Then it's a no-brainer. School's done. I was searching for a job for a couple years. The jobs that I felt very qualified for, they would not interview me or connect with me because I did not have that degree. And so it was really sad and depressing to open up my computer and look for jobs. Because of that, I decided to go back to college. After a couple years, I applied to USC. Kind of in the middle of summer, this red packet came in the mail. And I was like, no way, it's a packet. If you got an envelope, that's one thing, but if you got a packet, that was a good sign. I opened it up, went screaming through the house, showing the kids. But then I was like, wait a minute, that's an expensive school. I got in, but it's an expensive school. We have no money, and I'm too old to take on student debt. You know, I really just cannot do that. So through scholarships and grants, food stamps, Medi-Cal, child support, we make it work. My next dream life is to go on and get my master's or PhD and continue the next phase of my life. Me getting into USC was a group effort because it wasn't just me, it was me and my kids. A group sacrifice and watch us because we're going to fly.
To us at Course Hero, Lisa is the perfect example of a student hero. It's not just because she's curious, she's optimistic, she's incredibly hardworking, and she's dedicated to her school, her life, those around her. It's because at the age of 53, she decided to go back to college because she wanted to prove to her children that anything is possible. It's also because she's a single mom. She's a mother of 6 children, 2 of whom are adopted and special needs. It's because she's had to overcome so many challenges to be able to get to where she wants to go. Self-doubt, financial sacrifice. She commutes in the pitch black of night to be able to get to college, to be able to get to class on time and prepared. But what you may not know, and what we've learned, is that Lisa is not an exception. She's not an outlier. Rather, she's representative of the new normal. Of the 20 million students enrolled in post-secondary education in the United States, 70% of them are working. So that's almost 14 million students. And 40% of all of these students are actually working 35 hours or more per week. Imagine that. While you're doing your homework, your full class load, you're studying for tests, you're writing papers, you're reading Homer to Euripides. You're also holding down a 9-to-5 job. That's what almost half of all college students in America do today. And a quarter of all students, like Lisa, are parents. So imagine that day. You wake up in the morning, and you're getting your kids ready for school. You take them to school, and then you go to school yourself. When you're done with school, you go to work. When you come home from work, you help your kids with their homework. Then you're done, and you help them. After you've helped them with their homework, you do your own homework. And who knows what time of night it is when you get to go to bed. Hopefully you get some sleep. You wake up in the morning, and you repeat day after day. These student parents, they don't have the same access to student peers or support systems. So when you tack on any sort of disruption in their life, whether their kids get sick, they get hurt, their work schedule changes, they lose a job, their car breaks down, they run out of gas money, whatever it is, the ambient level of stress can become unbearable. Perhaps it's one of these moments that becomes the critical moment that breaks their path to graduation. And this isn't to take anything away from traditional college students. You know, the ones that are 18 to 22 years old, they don't have a full-time job, they're not parents. They're also dealing with a lot of stress and built-up anxiety while they're trying to manage their school schedules. They're trying to build these Renaissance-like resumes. They've got all these extracurriculars. They're interning at impressive companies, whether it's being part of other social groups, clubs, organizations, fine arts programs, sports teams, what have you. While they're doing this, they feel like their future, when we talk to them, hinges on every single test that they're going to take, every single assignment, every single paper that they have to write. And they realize in the back of their mind that every day that goes by, their financial debt is racking up. This is the reality for a 53-year-old single mom to an 18-year-old freshman coming into the college dorms for the first time. No wonder 64% of students in college in the United States do not graduate on time. 40% never go on and graduate at all. At Course Hero, we view this as an epic fail. It's a fail for students who don't get to earn the diploma and walk through the doors that it would open for them. It's a fail for educators who've poured so much time and energy into helping these students learn what they need to learn. It's a fail for our society that needs well-educated, well-rounded, empathetic, brave thinkers to solve our biggest problems. It's a fail for all of us, for which we all bear some responsibility, including us at Course Hero, because should getting a college education and trying to improve your life really be this hard? No, it shouldn't. We want to help change that reality. We want to make it easier for students to learn, to be able to graduate on time, and to be able to succeed in their future careers. Course Hero is an educational technology platform. It's powered by a community of students, tutors, educators that are contributing to and generating a library of course-specific resources, study materials, 20 million plus large. It includes study guides, notes, practice problems, practice tests, resources that are designed to complement the learning experience. Students and educators can earn access to Course Hero for free by contributing their own resources to the library. And everyone else can access Course Hero with a Spotify or Netflix-like subscription. Nearly 1 in 5 college students in the United States come to us to be able to get unstuck on homework questions, assignment questions, to be able to practice and prep for tests or quizzes that are coming up, to be able to gain a deeper understanding of concepts or question types that they're going to be studying. At these critical junctures, these critical moments, when students potentially are getting to the point of being overwhelmed to the point of giving up, we're there for them. A lot of them. Course Hero is one of the top 200 most visited websites in the United States. It's also one of the top 1,000 most visited websites in the world now. This year we'll serve, or we're on track to serve, over 300 million visits to the website. And we're proud of this. But we're also very aware that this just isn't good enough, because so many students are still struggling and dropping out. We need to be able to do a better job. We need to be able to do more to help these students learn faster and better so that they can graduate on time and be able to thrive in their lives. It's exciting to be part of the GSV fund and community. a community and a group of people who care about and are focused on the future of education and impacting and influencing it, focused on how are we going to transform the way that people learn to make it work better, more efficiently and effectively, and make it more accessible to more people. At Course Hero, we're in the process of evolving our platform for that very purpose. We envision a world where far fewer students fall into and out of the educational system. A future where a platform like ours works with and for educators, hand in hand, every step of the way to help students with their academic journeys. Let me tell you a bit about how we're going to plan to get there. In the future of education, first and foremost, we start with an individual student's experience. Instructors, they are already in their classrooms personalizing the instruction, the sequence of it, the pace of it, depending on their interpretation or their judgment of where a student is, where their skill level is, where their interests are, where their aversions are. We think that we need to be able to do a better job and evolve in a similar way for us to help more college students do better. We need to be able to leverage technology on top of the fact that we have over 20 million resources large in this learning library. To be able to leverage the technology to be able to make tailored recommendations for what's most useful when and how to help those students succeed. That's why this fall, we're launching a new intelligence layer at Course Hero. We're calling it the Learning Graph. And the idea behind it is to be able to make smart suggestions, tailored recommendations for what a student should learn based on what we know about them, what content ratings they have made, what we've understood. I think an analogy is useful to understand the application of this. So if you just remember the last time you went to a site like YouTube, and you came in to just watch that one video, but then 45 minutes later you realized that you just watched 15 of them. That's effectively like a YouTube playlist in our world. They took you on a journey powered by smart suggestions on the back end, but also facilitating your natural human curiosity. So we think educational platforms have the opportunity to do something analogous, something similar, where we create a study playlist, where we're making suggestions and we connect one question and one answer and one explanation that you came for to get unstuck on, and then connecting it to a host of related practice problems, related study materials, study guides, video tutorials, and taking you on a path, stringing together questions and answers, take you on a path towards deep learning. We think that is an opportunity for us to be able to make these recommendations in multiple formats that are sourced from different sources, such as students, tutors, educators, and doing that in collaboration with the different sources. We believe in the future of education that educators will become more and more important, and they should become more and more important. That's why as I speak, we are partnering with and we're recognizing and celebrating amazing teaching faculty from around the country. Educators like Dr. Maria Trujillo.
At Georgetown, I teach Information and Communication Technologies for Development. This is a course about how technology affects the quality of life of people and how to use technology to solve some problems of development in the global south. I started teaching when I was 18 years old because I love to see people grow in their knowledge and their skills, and it's a fascinating process to be a part of.
I didn't even know much about her background, and then we started talking about her research, and I was like, wait, you brought the internet to Columbia. Wait, why didn't you mention that at the beginning of class, like in your introduction? I would be telling everybody.
I was a woman in a group of men that brought the internet to Columbia. And because I was the only woman, I was called the internet girl. And I used to walk around pregnant with my son, talking about the internet. So it became a very strong image that I was pregnant with an idea, and I was going to tell them about it. I became a mom with my first son, Martin, and it changed my life forever. I became a mom again, and I had Aurita. that at certain points I thought I couldn't do it. I couldn't be able to hold down a career and raise my kids. So there were moments in which we felt insecure.
It is inspiring to be around a woman who has had such an impact, especially since she was implementing this technology in the 90s when it wasn't as common for women to be in technology. I think that's something, again, that I aspire to do. To really, invest my career in something that isn't necessarily a traditional path.
I do think that the role of the professor has changed from being the expert in something to being a coach and to being more of an equal. I include my students as part of the solution to the problems. I'm not the expert, I don't have the answers, but I will coach you, I will mentor you in trying to solve part of this puzzle together. And that's where the future of education is moving.
To us at Course Hero, Dr. Trujillo is a perfect example of an educator hero. She's highly accomplished. She loves to teach. She loves to help students learn. And she's gritty. She's a single mom, and she balances her teaching work with consulting work, extra jobs, and then raising and supporting her own family. And she's managed through a lot of different events throughout her life, including managing through Hurricane Katrina when she was at Tulane and teaching. Like Lisa, our student hero, Dr. Trujillo is not an exception. She is representative of the new normal. There used to be 50% of teaching faculty in higher ed in the United States were tenured or tenured track. Now it's at most 30%. So 70% of teaching faculty in higher ed in the United States are adjunct faculty. Many institutions rely heavily on adjunct professors who typically get paid a fraction of their tenured or tenure track counterparts. So they're oftentimes stitching together different teaching opportunities, teaching multiple classes at multiple institutions, and even taking on non-academic work to be able to support their livelihood. For context, 25% of all adjunct faculty and their families rely on some form of government assistance program. And this is not to take anything away from tenured or tenured track faculty who, between prepping their classes, prepping their lectures, teaching the classes, hosting office hours, creating assessments, assignments, and tests, grading them, grading the papers, grading the tests, grading the assignments, answering questions from students all day long via email. Yeah, it's true. And it's very difficult. And they oftentimes are highly overworked, underpaid, especially those who are supporting their families. Here's how we can help. At Course Hero, educators can come and they create profiles. And they contribute their resources, their own resources like their syllabi and presentations, assignments and tests and practice problems that they can then use and rely on as supplemental learning resources in office hours and in emails and responding to questions. And in the process of doing so, what happens is that they're able to open and connect their classroom to other classrooms so that different educators, whether it's in the same institution or in a different class at a different institution in the United States or around the globe, they're able to peek inside each other's classrooms. They're able to save time for themselves and make their classes more effective in the process. Think of it like a LinkedIn for learning and teaching. And they're able to peek inside, see how somebody else is developing their syllabus, how they're creating their own questions and their answers, how they're developing their assignments and their assessments. So far, thousands of US faculty in college and university level teaching have joined Course Hero to help build out this world's biggest and best learning library. They're helping to build this vision. But we need many more to join. To make Course Hero as well-rounded, as rigorous as possible, to be able to create a platform where students and educators and tutors come together on a shared platform to make their lives easier and better in the process. If you're an educator, if you're connected with amazing teaching faculty or academic institutions, please seek us out. Email me, connect with me after this presentation. I'd be excited to connect with you. The whole team would be. Because the reality is, it's time that we saw more students getting up to the podium on graduation day, proud of what they've accomplished, and ready, prepared, confident to build a life for themselves and those around them. It's time that we saw more educators receiving more recognition for what they do, what they've done, and able to sustain and enjoy the lives that they've already built for themselves. We think that this is eminently doable. We plan to help them get there, and we hope that you'll join us. Thank you.